welcome everyone to a special late night edition of the Brown Machismo Show. I am your host, Joe, aka Brown Machismo, aka a national treasure, aka your special friend in the night. I have a very special episode lined up. I have a very special guest joining us live for the first ever Nights edition. So this will not be for anyone who is sensitive to, just everyday things. So all you cool babies out there listening, it's time for you to go to bed because it's time for the Brown Machismo Nights. And before we get into that, let's go over some stuff going on in life. The government's still shut down. That's really bad. Our president still sucks. Also really bad. I'm going to guess most of these listeners for the show here will agree with that. I don't think I have many people who disagree with my opinions. Katy Perry's currently locked into my bedroom, so that way she won't be running around. Because I know she likes to run around and become a goof and just knock cables out. So this is going to be our most streamlined episode ever. I'm going to make sure to not let my controller go mute because I'm currently in an Xbox Live party, because that's how we do it here on the Brown Machismo Show. Other than that, I think we should get right into it. It's a little bit of a late night start for some of us here on the East Coast. It's cold, it's chilly, you're probably alone, so I hope this warms you up a little bit. So I'm going to introduce our first guest right now. If they want to unmute themselves and join us, I am joined by the one, the only Tori. Tori, how are you tonight?
I'm great. I've got a mason jar full of wine.
That's a lot of wine. So welcome. Welcome to the Brown Machismo Show Nights. Do you want to go by Tori?
Love the graphic.
I threw it together real quick. I was going to try and have stars in the background, but I found some kind of like...
It's beautiful. I love it just the way it is.
Oh, thank you. Do you want to go by Tori? Do you want to go by Dawn? What do you want me to call you?
No, considering how many weird usernames I've got that no one can pronounce, let's just go with Tori.
All right, so we're welcome with Tori. Tori, welcome to the first ever Brown Machismo Show Nights.
So good. I'm excited.
Okay, so before we get into anything, make sure none of my music's running incorrectly. This seems to be, despite the little hiccups in the beginning, this seems to be the most smooth intro to an episode so far.
Oh, you've doomed it now. You've doomed it.
I doom nothing. We are spirits. There's no such thing as doom. Let me get into these questions. Actually, we are a little bit of a mess up so far. I don't have the questions lined up. So while I stall for time, you're saying you're drinking a mason jar full of wine.
Yes.
Any reasons why?
Delicious. It's a red Moscato. It's a little sweet. It's a little dry. It's a Friday night.
I guess that's true.
Earned this. I survived this week.
I was hoping that today I was going to find a beer that I would finally enjoy. No. Every beer I had tonight was disgusting and more worse than the other. So daddy does not
why it's in a
drink.
jar.
Yeah, why is it in a jar?
It's in a jar because I'm an adult and a mason jar fits more than a regular wine glass.
That's fair. I'm not.
She did in fact buy me a very beautiful wine tumbler for Christmas. I'm not using it.
Rebel asking the important questions. So wait, you have a wine tumbler like for coffee?
Yeah, except it's shaped like a little wine glass.
Now if that's not class, I don't know what is.
Darn Skippy.
So we have two live...
I'm gonna do my best to not swear tonight.
No, you can swear. This is the late night edition. This is fine. Fuck it. Who cares?
It's after 10. It's fine.
I won't. I'm not gonna show him. I'm not gonna show Mama Machismo what I do at nights. Hold on, I got a little thing. So we're joined by we have two live guests right now. We have my friend Varosh, and we have the Rebel Queen herself. Rebel, welcome.
Also known as my very best friend.
Okay, well, I guess the first question we could really ask is, How do you and the Rebel Queen know each other?
Uh, so, 14 years ago, we were both nerds on the very lonely internet, specifically on LiveJournal. She just said, "Oh no," in the chat. Yep, yep. We were nerdy kids. I think she was about 15. I was 18 or 19. And we were in LiveJournal role-playing games. And specifically, we bonded over being twins in a Final Fantasy Kingdom Hearts High School alternate universe RPG.
That's a lot to digest in one sitting.
It really is. We're real nerdy. Like, we're real, like, gross levels of nerdy. Shouldn't be as cute as we are.
Like, when people think of, like, people on the internet doing roleplay, they think, like, not you two. They think, like, more my body type, not the people who are
like
lonely on purpose or not.
40-year-old neckbeards living in mom's basement.
No, but you have two babes talking to each other, role playing about Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy. Like that's a miracle.
It was very wholesome.
Mm-hmm.
The Yakuza took over our high school once. It was an ordeal.
Oh, the Yakuza. So who were you two? You're just twins? Were you?
So
I need everything.
The long story is she was playing Riku from Kingdom Hearts.
Mm-hmm.
Riku had a twin brother named Repliku because that's just fandom going name for his weird shadow clone thing. But Ansem from Kingdom Hearts flipped around, and he was a big old hoe, and had an illegitimate daughter who was Zu from Final Fantasy VIII.
Mm-hmm.
And they were born very, very close in time together, so they jokingly became triplets.
Mm. Of course.
Yeah, it's our nerdy past is real gross.
I have a friend who's currently listening.
We were Tumblr before there was Tumblr.
LiveJournal was a weird, like, Wild West. I remember that. I wasn't on LiveJournal. I was on Zanga, but I remember people on LiveJournal. I remember Dead Journal was really big too. But
I had a Dead Journal for a while.
Oh, I was always a Zanga guy. I was really into. I was like, I think my Zanga name was like Black Sunshine 1357. I was really into Rob Zombie at the time. So yeah, I understand those kind of I understand those internet Tumblr ships. What fandom was I in? I didn't have the internet as a teen. I didn't get the internet until like high school, so I didn't really have any of that stuff. Like this Discord now is kind of like what I would have been into when I was like younger, just like talking to people online and being cool and not being forced to socialize outside.
I got my start in like Buffy AOL chat rooms, and then that led me to like Buffy RPG chat rooms, which then led me to doing roleplay on LiveJournal, and I also wrote Harry Potter fan fiction for a while.
I'm really impressed you weren't like abducted.
Where it was real deep and bad.
I see people on Twitter who do roleplay.
I legit met other Harry Potter fans when I was like 15 years old, and my mom came with me because my mom wrote fanfic on the same forum.
Whoa, that's a deeper layer. I'm thinking you were like meeting people in malls and getting abducted, but you had your mom come with you, so I guess that's safe, right?
Yeah, it was great.
Oh man!
And my mom would go on like trips to San Francisco and hang out in the Bay Area with other Harry Potter nerds.
Oh, it's
the only reason I am nerdy as I am is I got raised by my mama right.
Tell us more about Mama. You've talked to us offline before about your mom, but she seems like a very interesting just an experience, I guess.
My mom is amazing, and I will never not talk about how great she is.
Oh, go ahead.
She was a jet mechanic in the Air Force, and then after that, she did missile control stuff for NORAD. Mm-hmm. She left the military when she had me, and then she started working at a TV station, which she worked at a TV station for about 17 years. Mm-hmm. And I basically grew up in a TV station. I learned how to run camera. I learned how to run Chiron. I was doing all of these weird things like when I was 10.
Wow.
And then when I was in my 20s, started defunding PBS, my mom got let go, and she eventually wound up becoming an officer for the sheriff department.
Whoa, that's that's
And
quite the resume.
now my mom's a case officer, so like if you have a break-in or anything like that, and you call for like an emergency, and an officer comes out and takes your report, she's the sweet little old lady that comes out and does it.
Oh, that's awesome. It's quite the life. Going from
my mom is a giant nerd. Like, I grew up with Star Trek and MacGyver and reading Star Trek Extended Universe novels.
I've always felt that like my nerdiness was like a rebellion against my parents, because my Mama Machismo and Papa Machismo are two of the most like ordinary people like to ever walk the face of the earth. Like, my dad read like Lord of the Rings when he was younger. He read The Hobbit, but he never was like he was a former cop from Alabama. He was in the Air Force. He as a private citizen worked for the government in Northeast Philadelphia. My mom was a stay-at-home mom for most of her life, and then she kind of started working after I was in high school, and my sister was a bit older. So like I never really had like I never really had an outlet for my nerdiness. I kind of just did it one day, and I was like, "This is me now. This is who I am." And I never had like a role model to really base my like nerdiness off of. So that's also that your mom is basically like the reason why you're you, because you're a very unique person.
Oh, yeah.
And I've really enjoyed getting to know you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, no, you're everything. Every time you say something new, I'm like, wow, I can't believe that's an actual thing. That's so cool. Like, you do role, you're doing your
lovely, and oh my god, I'm a giant weirdo. I've done so much stuff. It's
no,
bad.
See, like, I want to get into a little bit of your background. Like, you do cosplay. You've done professional cosplay. That's incredible to me. So I do want to get a little more into that.
That still blows my mind.
Getting paid to do cool stuff like that. That's amazing.
It was a really fun summer.
Do you have any? Oh, so I guess we kind of get to start with there. So, what got you into the cosplay scene?
Well, I kind of grew up as a big nerd, and I was a theater geek. I helped make costumes. Like, I was always really theatrical. And then when I started getting really nerdy, we'd do things like go to conventions, and I saw other people cosplaying and always wanted to do it.
Mm-hmm. So what was your first one you ever did?
The first one that I ever made on my own was Kairi from Kingdom Hearts 2.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the little pink dress and the purple shoes. But before that, I'd done a Code Geass cosplay, which is anime from 10 years ago at this point, but I was afraid to do it, so I paid someone else to make the costume for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt bad wearing the costume because I didn't feel like I deserved to wear it because I didn't make it. And also, it fit terribly because I didn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, I realized I should probably be, doing this myself. And I always did weird Halloween costumes anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It was rarely something like, I'm just gonna get a slutty witch costume. I was Zach Hansen for Halloween one year.
How did that go over?
No one understood it, but I thought it was hilarious.
I see, like, so like I've never been to like the big one like at San Diego, but I go to the local Philadelphia area shows, and I've always really wanted to try cosplay, but I've only done it a couple times. I did one year where I don't even know if it was cosplay. I just put on a Steven Universe star shirt and I wore blue jeans and I said I was cosplaying. Then you see some of the people who out there just go crazy.
No, that's
with
cosplay.
It.
You know what cosplay means? It means costume play. You're wearing a costume. It doesn't matter if it's a t-shirt and jeans. It doesn't matter if it's some ridiculous giant armor with mechanical wings. Mm-hmm. A costume is a costume. It makes you happy. That's what matters.
I did like the fact that I was walking around and I saw another little girl who kind of did the same thing. We could both kind of tell, like, she was like maybe a tween, and she was also wearing a Steven Universe shirt. I looked at her, she nodded at me. We both understood what we were into. We both were like, we're doing our best here. Yeah, we both have an idea of what we're doing. So back,
I have an extensive wig collection at this point, and I have done so many, like, I don't really feel like wearing this costume, so I'm gonna put on the wig and like theme an outfit around it, and I'm just gonna be casual lightning today.
I do. My first thing that I've ever saw that you ever did was It was you, I guess, it was you and Rebel as like Party Mercy and Party Diva, and that blew
my
my
God,
mind.
Party Girl, Mercy, and Diva.
Because that was like what
I'm really proud of those.
They're really good. If I get a chance, if anybody wants to post that in the chat, for those who have not seen it, it's pretty great. But the idea of like
find the Instagram,
the idea of not like in my head, I've always wanted to be, this has to be exactly perfect looking. I can't do a interpretation of it, and I've always been very steadfast in that. Like it kind of prevents me from doing a lot of things, as I'm weirdly particular about stuff. If like I can't do it right, I'm not going to do it. So to see your interpretation of it made me think like, oh, it's awesome. Time. It just feels like you're not honoring it if you're doing it your own way. Does that make sense?
I felt like that for a really long time. Like I was one of those pretentious cosplayers that was like, if it's not screen accurate, what are you even here for?
Yeah, exactly.
And I realized that like it's way more fun to just have fun with it. My rule of thumb for cosplay is, especially if you're doing a weird interpretation, someone walks up to you and says, "Hey, cool diva." Done. You nailed it. Like, doesn't matter if you're in booty shorts and a tank top that says "nerf this." Like, someone knew that you were diva. That's the important part.
I was walking around recently at the Philadelphia Comic-Con dressed as Tina from Bob's Burgers, and I was walking around and I saw another Tina, but it was one of her, like, it was a punk rock Tina, and it was like, this is what I would imagine Tina would be into if she was punk rock. If I can find it, I will also post it. But that's cool. Really
want to do like a girl gang version of the Sailor Scouts.
See, like, that's cool. Like, I never would have thought of that. I mean, like, that's not in my head. Like, I have to get exactly. I feel exactly like them. But to see your interpretations of them, I guess, is really the best way to say it. That's pretty awesome. That's like a cool outlet for your creativity, I guess.
Without having to go super over the top and make Diva's entire jumpsuit.
I'm sure Nova's secretly working on that somewhere. Hope he's listening.
Oh, I'm sure he's already bought one from like Alibaba.
So going back to the cosplay, so you've done it for a lot. Have you done anything recent that we should know about? Because if you want to plug your cosplay account, please feel free to post that.
The cosplay account that I never remember to use.
Is that Toby?
I'm really bad.
Toby Day?
Furious Fabrications is my like cosplay brand, but I'm really bad at remembering to do anything with it. Maybe get to do like one costume a year.
That's still pretty good.
The last costume that I did was Ryoko from Tenchi Muyo.
And my don't know who that is.
Friend Ash managed to make the most beautiful, giant, towering blue wig. Because I cannot craft wigs. So they made this gorgeous wig, and I built the bodysuit and dress. I'm sure I can find it on Instagram. It was really fun. She's Tenchi Muyo was like a 90s era harem anime. And when I was younger, I always wanted to do it, but I was really self-conscious, and I was afraid to do it, and I wasn't very good, and I didn't have the boobs for it. So, like, I always just tucked it away. Dude, Ryoko is stacked, like, legit hardcore stacked. And I was flat as a board for such a long time. So, realized I'm finally old enough, I have the skills enough, like, I can do this. There, I'm posting it to the chat. But it's, like, peak 90s harem anime.
Let's check it out. Get a live reaction from it. Oh, wow, yeah. That's cool.
I made sure that every single piece of that costume was shiny fabric.
Looks incredible. I like it.
It was actually really fun to build, and it was like ticking off like a cosplay bucket list item.
Do you have any future plans for anything, or anything you want to do? Like, what's your bucket list?
Let's see. Really like to actually do Brig, like Brigitte from Overwatch. That would be really fun to do.
You're the perfect height for it.
She's my main. I am, and I can rock a high ponytail.
Yeah.
I just I have no plans for cosplay until I finish getting my master's degree, because I just don't have the time for it right now, which is a bummer.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I usually work karaoke for Anime Expo in Los Angeles. over the summer during 4th of July weekend, and that's usually the one time I have to cosplay. And this year I'm probably just going to break out some of the old costumes of my cosplay because ain't nobody got time to do their master's thesis and build a cosplay.
I always told myself that if I ever went for my master's degree, my reward would be something cool. So maybe your reward for your master's degree would be doing Brigitte.
Maybe, yeah.
I always told myself that if I like I said, if I got the degree, I'd get something cool. I would get like a gigantic like wrestling world title belt, and the nameplate would be my degree. Yeah. And instead of having a diploma like on my wall, it would just be bolted to the wall, a fake pro wrestling title belt.
Amazing.
I have no plans to ever do it.
Love it. Doesn't
maybe
matter. It sounds amazing.
Every year my mom's like, "What do you want for your Christmas?" And I'm like, "You know exactly what I want for Christmas." She's like, "You'll never get that as long as I live." And I've always wanted a fake title belt.
Oh, Mama Machismo, come on.
Mama Machismo does not support
Everyone
my
wants a
pro
title
wrestling
belt.
dreams. So I put a post on the Discord and just for anybody who had any questions for you. And one of the first questions was, going back to our cosplay question, is what got you into cosplay? We know who did, but what exactly motivated you?
I wanted to fit in with all of the other nerds to a certain degree. Like, I mean, I saw people doing it and I wanted to do it, so I just kind of did. But it was always fun getting to see all of these people in these amazing costumes and going, I could do that. I could do that, right? Right? And I finally just hit a point where I went, stop wishing that you could do it and just do it.
Yeah,
It's been awesome. It's been fun. I've got to do a lot of really cool things.
I get the impression you're like, are you a little bit of a celeb in the cosplay world?
Oh God, no.
Really?
Oh God, no.
No, I'm not talking like you have like fans. Like, not like you're a celeb, but you have people who are like, oh, I really like your cosplay. Here's your follow.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. I'm not really good at managing the social media on my cosplay just because I don't have the time or money to go to conventions on a regular basis.
So
and that's a lot of like maintaining your cosplay brand is, going to cons and debuting new costumes, and I get to do that maybe once a year.
That's still pretty cool. You were talking about how you're the karaoke DJ at Anime Expo. Like how'd that happen?
I just happened to know people. I had a friend who she had been doing it, and Rebel and I went to Anime Expo one year to hang out with her, and she introduced us to everyone, and through that, like, I just kind of got absorbed into the family. They would always come up to Northern California and do conventions in Sacramento and San Jose, and I would go help them out with that. And now I just fly to LA every summer and go do it there.
That's incredible.
So she was the one that really connected me with all of these people, and she's no longer with us, but her legacy lives on with all of the weird connections she's made with all of these people in her life.
Oh, so it lives on.
Yeah, her legacy is ridiculous at this point. Like, she's still here on some level, like, giving us beautiful kismet all the time.
Oh, that's awesome. So you said you're going to go this year. I got nothing to do July 4th. I'll go to Anime Expo. I'll be overwhelmed and not know anything, but I'll go.
It's huge. There's oh God, I can't remember how many people went this year. I want to say 180,000 people or something like that.
It's not really the crowd I'm worried about. It's the fact that I'm not, as we found out last time, I don't know anything about anime. You named, I'm guessing, a very popular show, and I'm just like, I don't know who the hell that is. Tenchi Mayonnaise.
Okay. Tenchi Muyo. To be fair, like, at this point, the only people that remember Tenchi Muyo are the people who watched it in the 90s. No one goes back to rewatch Tenchi Muyo.
Is that a show is that like what was that little robot guy on Cartoon Network? Toonami? Was that a Toonami show?
Toonami, yeah. It was on Toonami for a bit.
I watched Toonami as a kid. I used to be I had a big Dragon Ball Z phase in high school. Like, not when I say big, I mean like I watched the show.
Every
but
teenage boy had a Dragon Ball Z phase.
It was cool. I liked it. I thought it was neat. I didn't know what I was watching. It was just them grunting for like 20 minutes. But that's why I like pro wrestling. It's just grunting.
I've never seen an episode of any Dragon Ball series.
That's shocking. I'm flabbergasted. I thought you
Didn't
would
watch
be.
super masculine anime. I watched like the weird slice of life, like harem magical girl stuff. I didn't watch Goku charging up for 17 episodes just to have one fight.
I guess that's fair. I I try to think. I mean, I started. I think I watched a little bit of Sailor Moon, and I only really liked the blue one.
Mercury.
Yeah, she was my favorite. No, the one with black
like
hair.
to look at
Jupiter?
Ray, Sailor Mars.
Sure. I like them.
Long black hair,
Yeah.
red costume, Sailor Mars.
Who was the blonde with
Personally,
orange
a
hair?
Jupiter girl.
Who's the redhead?
Wasn't a redhead. There were two blondes. There was Sailor Moon, and then
Yeah.
there was Sailor Venus.
I don't think I cared
And there
about
was
Venus.
Sailor Jupiter, but she was like a brunette. She had the high ponytail. She was the really tall one, basically me.
She's green.
She's the green one, yeah.
Okay, that's the one who I like then. And there was the guy,
me.
and there was that guy in the mask with the tuxedo, mask tuxedo guy.
Tuxedo Mask.
Yeah, that guy. I know nothing.
His name does what it says on the tin.
We were talking
He's got a
about
tuxedo. He's got a mask. What are we gonna call him? I don't know. Tuxedo Mask.
when I was talking to Pun, he was naming all the animes, and I'm like, bro, I don't know any of these. That's not part of my
The stuff
nerd.
that he's watched isn't even the stuff that I've watched. Like, I was trying to guess his number one, and I was like, I don't know, Gurren Lagann. Like, you seem like that kind of weeby level of like nerd dude.
Gurren
like,
Lager.
Nope.
We're gonna drill.
Fascination, whatever. I have literally never heard of that series.
We're gonna drill the moon or whatever, right? Pierce the sky.
Yeah, I don't know. I never watched Gurren Lagann either. Like, had a friend who was super into it, and they were just like too into it, and it kind of ruined me wanting to get into it.
I feel like that's the reason why I never got an anime. Is like the fans, like that comic books. I never got into it because the fans were like, if you don't watch the right one, you're not really a fan. I'm like, dude, I'm just looking to do something cool. Like I want to.
Yeah.
I don't know where to begin with comic books. I don't know where to begin with anime. Like I've never
Just
been
wanna watch
someone.
cute things.
Yeah, I've never been one to gatekeep. If I find someone who likes something I'm into, it's all I want to talk about. In fact, I would probably like
I
it
don't wanna
so
have to,
much.
like, check your nerd card.
Yes. If anything, my level of love will make you not like this. You're like, oh, I thought I liked it, but this guy makes it not fun. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm just so excited. You mentioned this obscure thing that I thought only I knew about. No, I'm not. I will never gatekeep anybody. It's stupid.
Yeah, it is. I work at a pop culture museum, which sounds really weird, but
Which
I
sounds
used to be a docent,
incredible.
and I used to hang out in the exhibits.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I love this. I love this museum. If I can actually work there, like as a functional adult, like I would be so happy. Like I was a volunteer, and I would hang out in the exhibits all day, and I would just answer questions, tell people where the bathroom is, like just like chat with people.
Mm-hmm.
And one day, some guy like sees my name badge, and I'm standing next to like the Mork costume from Mork and Mindy, and he looks at me and he's like, "You even know what this is a spin-off of?" And I'm like, "Happy Days." He's like, "Yeah, there was like a slow pitch question though." I'm like, "Okay, dude, whatever. I'm literally just here so I don't get fined. Keep on gatekeeping, bro."
Marshawn Lynch would be proud of you.
Oh god.
So
I hate the idea of gatekeeping. Like, just let people be enthusiastic about stuff, right?
Oh yeah, I'm very much like that. People who just say like, you don't know, like this isn't a true fan. It's like, dude, no, it's not worth it.
You haven't read this one specific arc of the X-Men from 1992 that was a limited release. Like, you're not a true Marvel fan. Dude, shut up. Who cares?
I forgot to turn notifications off, so Rebel just started hosting me, and all I heard was this yelling in the background, like, "Oh shit, I forgot, I'm so professional. Oh no." So going, I guess the overall, like, okay, so you cosplay, you volunteer to this pop culture museum, like your nerd resume is rather impressive. It's very, very good. What would you say besides, almost become like basically being a professional cosplay karaoke hoster working at a pop culture museum. What do you think is like your nerdiest like thing you do?
Oh God. That's really hard.
We ask the hard hitting questions here on the Brown Machismo
Just
show.
because everything that I do is like nerdy on some level. Because cosplay, working in a pop culture museum, I was a D-list YouTube celebrity for a while. Okay. Like, if we're talking, like, I'm gonna go by, like, the most niche, weird, nerdy thing I've ever done, which was I was an extra in a Rooster Teeth movie.
Are you officially an IDMB?
No, because I'm too lazy to make an account.
Oh.
I'd have to list too many actual things if I wanted to make an IMDb account.
You should.
Just
keep adding that resume.
I'm in a couple of scenes in Laser Team, and that was actually really fun because I got to fly out to Austin and do a studio tour and meet a bunch of people and basically hang out, and then I got to be in a really nerdy movie.
That's pretty awesome.
I'm in it for about 7 whole seconds. I've been in the Rooster Teeth community for about 15 years at this point, so...
Nova showed a clip showed a movie he was in, but he doesn't know where he is in the movie.
Yes, that's what reminded me.
I think that's pretty cool. I've never been in a movie, but I was on the cover of Highlights once. I had a teacher who was an artist for Highlights and used to do the covers, and he hid me and my girlfriend at the time were on the cover of it. I don't know what issue it was.
Community darling.
I don't know what. I could probably text him and be like, "Hey, what cover am I on?" He could probably find it for me, but like that's the only kind of like cool thing I could do like that. Like I've never been in a movie. I remember one time I got interviewed by NBC Latino because I went to the Democratic National Convention and they were asking anybody brown any questions about how Latinos support Obama. And I'm like, you can ask me, man, but I'm from Northeast Philly. Like I'm not going to get very much more Latino than this. And they never put my interview on the air.
And you're like adopted by white parents.
Yeah.
Like,
doing this show is really made me hear my voice.
Card away.
Oh, every time I speak Spanish, it feels like cultural appropriation. It really does. It's like...
It's funny because we're like the opposites because I grew up with a Hispanic step family. So like my Thanksgivings were making tamales and like...
No.
I had a lot of lechanclas thrown at me.
No, I've never had a shoe thrown at me.
That was just...
I just had
terrifying.
I just had Catholic guilt a lot. That was my mom like, you should go to church today.
You're being requested to speak Spanish.
Lo siento, por favor. I took Spanish all through high school and I got C+. I can't do languages. I can't do language and I can't do math. I just got back from dinner today with a friend and we were talking about like being in the gifted program in high school. And like I was in the gifted program, but I don't know why. I had it for like because I could draw and paint. I had like emotional intelligence. I can't do language. I can't even speak English all that well, if I'm being honest. Like, don't let this radio voice fool you. It's awful. I got that Philadelphia accent.
I'm like Mensa card, like genius child prodigy. I got no common sense though.
that's what I have.
I've got the emotional capacity of a box of hammers.
Nah, it was one of those. Like, remember they made you like take the test that says, "What's the difference between this picture and this picture?" And it's like, well, that kid has no arm. Like that's common sense stuff to me. But if they were like handing me a math problem, I would cry.
Because he didn't have an arm.
Yeah, because you're. I would cry like that little boy doesn't have an arm. He can't hug anybody. I had emotional intelligence.
And I'd just be like, he doesn't have an arm, loser.
What a jabron.
What a jabroni.
I just love that's my favorite word that's my absolute favorite word, which segues into Mike's question. What's your favorite word? I
tend to like words that sound like what they would mean, like you can kind of get the vibe from them. That like you can kind of feel like what it means. So my favorite word is lascivious. Because it sounds kind of sleazy. It means lewd and crude.
Oh.
It's kind of like, you're a little dirty. You're lascivious.
That's a good one. I also like kerfuffle.
Do you like kerfuffle?
That's a good one. It's a solid word. Kerfuffle, jabroni, hooliganism.
Hooligan, yeah.
That's just people don't say hooligan enough.
Yeah. See, I like jabroni. I was on a radio sports show for about a year, and we refused to call the Washington professional football team by their name. So by the end of the show, we just called them the Washington Jabronis.
It's fair. You shouldn't call them by their actual name.
Yeah, no, we refused. They were either the Washington professional football team or the Washington Jabronis.
Speaking of professional football, I know you were a Giants fan, and I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts when we went 5-15 this season, or 5-10 this season, and it's still a better record than last season.
As a Philadelphia Eagles fan, I don't really have any sympathy for you, but as your friend, I'm like, I'm sorry, your team sucks. You guys were so good for so long.
Like, I know, like, every other team I love is usually a dumpster fire, so it was nice to at least have one team that was good. Now the Giants are a dumpster fire, and the Kings still have a over 50% winning record. So I'm gonna be okay with that, kind of.
Do you have a baseball team?
Don't.
Yeah, no.
I think when I was growing up, like, it was a Mets fan. Like, we were a Mets family. We were Mets and Jets.
Oh wow.
But I was too young to really get into baseball. Like, we moved to Michigan and we went to a few Tigers games.
That's cool.
Then when we moved to California, moved to California, but we didn't live near any real teams. Like, we lived kind of near San Francisco, but, like, you had to drive 2 hours to go watch baseball games, so we just didn't.
I grew up with baseball.
I never really had a baseball.
That was the first thing I had as a kid. My dad was, my dad's not really into sports. My mom's more into sports than my dad was. My mom loves the Eagles, and she got me into that. My grandpa got me mostly into sports. I'm a huge Phillies fan. Any Philadelphia team, no matter what. Like, even before I got into Overwatch, like when they announced the fusion, I was like, oh, if they're from Philly, I fucks with them. It's fine. I don't care who you are. If you're Philly, I fucks with you.
You live somewhere that has professional teams.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Sacramento only had the Kings.
He had the Seals.
Like, they don't
for
have
like a minute, I think. Was that a hockey team?
Seals?
Yeah. Wasn't the Sacramento Seals a team? I don't remember. I don't know. I'm sorry, Rebel. I don't know. I know nothing about hockey as well.
Yeah, Sacramento doesn't have anything. Like, we have a AAA baseball team.
You have State Capitol.
We are, but no one knows that we're the capital. Legit, in my high school U.S. history, U.S. geography class, we did a quiz on, like, the state capitals, and more than half the class got the California state capital wrong.
What did they say?
Lived in the capital. Said, like, Los Angeles or San Francisco or San Diego.
The bigger cities.
So there's a giant white building in the middle of downtown Sacramento called the Capitol Building. It's a replica of DC Capitol Building.
Mm-hmm.
The street that building is on, named Capitol. Not too far from that building is the governor's mansion.
Gavin Newsom, right?
But
yeah, I know my governors. I'm political. I'm nasty too.
Nope. Sacramento's definitely not the capital. These dumb fucks.
Harrisburg's our capital, and it's you just drive through it and it's nothing. So yeah. I don't know what they're thinking. I mean,
Sacramento has if you include all the, like, incorporated areas and nearby, like, suburbs and everything, Sacramento has over 1 million people population.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're not small, but Los Angeles and San Francisco really like to dump on Sacramento.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? You're all gonna float away in an earthquake one day anyway, so.
Not Sacramento. They're on the other side of the fault line.
Hey, look at that. So they'll be the best. All right, so.
At least we're known for something.
Sacramento. It's okay.
Right. Basically.
All right, so I'm going back to your responses. You have a couple
What
weird
have you got
responses in
for
here.
me?
I don't
God.
understand the
I know
context.
one of them wanted me to swear
Yeah, I
like
mean you
as
can.
many swear words as I could say.
If you want to think about that one, we can
on
always
the
come back to
spot,
that
though.
one. I'll let that one. I'll let that one percolate for a little bit. But let's get to the first actual question from the list here. I don't understand the context
genuinely
of
afraid.
this. I don't know who asked because no one ever puts. It says put your name on it, but no one ever did. So the first question is, what would you wish for the Ferris wheel to become next?
That's from Jay. I know it's Jay. So Seattle has a Ferris wheel that sits right on the waterfront.
Mm-hmm.
When I got to meet Jay Wall, on the Syndicate chat,
Jay Wall's the greatest guy in the world, legally binding me for to
Halloween.
say that every day.
Literally the greatest person. He is a literal ray of sunshine. He's a wonderful person.
He's one half of the Gritty
We
Boys.
hung out on Halloween. Yeah, Philly. So we hung out on Halloween because he was up in Seattle for a job interview. And then we wandered around, and then we eventually got to the ferry terminal where I was leaving, and we have a big Ferris wheel on the water. And it was Halloween, but I couldn't figure out what it was until it turned, and it was pumpkin.
Mm-hmm.
But usually it does like different designs. So like during Christmas, there were bands that looked like candy canes. Right now, it's like a starburst that's pink, green, and blue that just kind of feeds, like swirls and stuff. I'm hoping for Valentine's Day that we get a big heart on it. That just sounds like it would be really cute.
So there's your answer, Jay. The legally is he NGC 2402? Who the hell is that?
I guess it is Jay.
I don't. That's not as Azul or Azazui, whatever the hell his name is. If it's a Jay, hey Jay, how are you today? I'm glad you have the internet back. So that got a better.
Jay.
Is it? Hey, it is Jay. Woo! Gritty Boys. Sorry.
You weren't expecting a good answer out of that question, were you?
Yeah,
had no idea what the context was.
No, I was just like, this is kind of some kind of weird sex joke or something. But no, it's actually a wholesome and beautiful joke, a beautiful story. All because Jay's in it.
The Ferris wheel sits right across from like where the ferry is, so like almost every day that I'm heading home, I get to look at the like Ferris wheel shining on the water, and it looks really pretty.
And yet you've never snapped it to us. A little disappointed.
Snapped it?
I've never seen any of those snaps.
You're just not paying attention. I almost snapped it today too, and I was like, no, I probably send too many weird pictures of the Seattle waterfront to the Snapchat.
The Snapchat's either pictures of me destroying my cat or Coco shirtless. So any more Ferris wheel pictures, please.
No, today it was pun. Today it was pun with a fucking mustache and shirtless. He's Coco now. Jesus Christ. Do we really need two of them?
Oh my god. Two has of a whole idiot. Okay. All right. So yeah, that answered one of the questions. The next one is, why do you smell?
Because I have no self-control over my bowels.
Happens to the best of us.
I'm gonna assume that one was Rebel.
Well, the next question also, I guess, maybe Rebel, because it says, JK, tell me your favorite non-Russian historical figure.
Ooh.
I'm going to guess it's me because I'm the national treasure, but go ahead and give us an actual answer.
Well, you're not historic yet.
Yet. I'm sure I'll leave a mark in history one day.
We're going for American history. I want to say Alexander Hamilton because he's a giant garbage boy. So he always got into fights, and he had these dueling pistols, and one of them specifically had a hair trigger, which is why he won so many of his goddamn duels. So when he got shot by Burr, he let Burr pick guns first, and Burr chose the one with the hair trigger.
Is that explained in the musical?
I have no idea. I haven't seen it. I'm not that rich. Do you think I have real money? I'm a grad student.
I've never seen anything like that. I know of it, but I've never seen it. And at this point, I'm too afraid to ask if I want to say it.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, probably just for the dumb dueling, maybe Alexander Hamilton.
Okay. That's fair.
Most of my favorite historic figures are Russian.
I was actually going to be my next question is, who's your favorite historical Russian figure? And why is it Fedor Emelianenko?
It's Ivan the Fourth.
Mm-hmm. Why not
otherwise known as Ivan the Terrible, which is a misnomer.
Why?
He's
Explain.
not Ivan the Terrible. Okay, so the actual like nickname
This is now
he got
hardcore
was
history with
Grozny.
Dan Carlin. Hello, I'm Dan Carlin.
Yes.
Hardcore history.
So Russia, he's nicknamed Ivan Grozny or Ivan Groznik.
Mm-hmm.
Grozny kind of means like intimidating or just like physically scary.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily like terrible. He's just like a very big, scary man. Because Ivan the Terrible was like this giant, tall man with crazy, scraggly hair and like a giant beard, and he had like a hunched back. This dude was like physically terrifying.
Oh, okay. Oh, so he's just an absolute unit.
So, yeah, he was an absolute unit. He was this giant, big dude, and he also happened to be the czar of all of the Rus. So, like, he had all this power, and he had all of this fearsomeness, so I'm a fan of saying that he's actually Ivan the Intimidating, not Ivan the Terrible.
Well, there you have it,
he was a
ladies
great
and gentlemen.
reformer.
You learn about
the boy
Ivan
killed
the
his
Okay.
wife, and he snapped and went on a murder rampage.
Oh, so then he became the then he became the Terrible. Like
yeah.
the actual.
His reign can be split into two. The first half is like him being a reformer and trying to make Russia more westernized, and the boyars really didn't like that because they liked the status quo. So his wife died of mysterious circumstances, and he went on a murder rampage, as you would if one, murdered the love of your life.
Yeah, I would see myself doing
romantic.
that too. I would probably do that too. I'd probably murder somebody. I guess I've never. I remember. One time a friend of mine kicked my cat and I almost killed him. Can't imagine what it would do for a wife.
I'll fucking ride or die for the people I love. Someone ever touches Rebel, no one's gonna find that body.
Oh man, what if it's Rebel doing it? Rebel hitting herself?
Then I'm gonna call her a dumb bitch.
That's fair. You hear that, Rebel?
Why are you hitting yourself?
Yeah, don't
Why
do
are
that.
you hitting yourself?
What if you? What if you're the one that does it?
Me and Rebel have like the most dumb bitch energy.
Dumb bitch energy. That's my favorite phrase you've ever said. I use that a lot now. Dumb bitch energy
is so great.
It's pretty great.
Big dick energy is great and all, but like, have you tried dumb bitch energy?
That is pretty good. That actually leads into our next question. Could you take a moment and reflect on the core of your being?
Oh, lots of poor life choices. Lots of poor life choices. Lots of poop jokes. So many poop jokes.
Are you a poop joker?
Oh my god, I love poop jokes.
Really?
Rebel and I communicate exclusively like in poop emojis in our private text.
Mm-hmm. I will never not laugh at a fart joke. Like, I always find them really funny too.
Right? Like, I am a firm believer that everything is funnier with a fart or a poop joke. So straight up, I'm going to tell a great story about my mom because my mom is a goddamn gift.
Okay.
In Harry Potter and... It might be Chamber of Secrets? It might be Prisoner of Azkaban.
Prisoner of Azkaban.
Azkaban. I want to say it's Chamber of Secrets.
That's what I call my colon.
Since I've read the books. But like Harry, Hermione, and Ron sneak into Hogsmeade, and they're not allowed to go yet because they're not the right year. And they happen to see like Cornelius Fudge and McGonagall and all of these people getting out and meeting in the bar in Hogsmeade. But as they're getting out of this little like horse carriage, Cornelius Fudge just steps in a pile of poop and like looks at the bottom of his shoe and grimaces and keeps walking, and it's literally my mom's favorite thing that's ever happened. Like, I can say, remember when Cornelius Fudge stepped in that pile of poop, and she will just lose her mind. We're pretty sure, like, there were horses on set. We're pretty sure he just stepped in poop, and that's the scene that they kept. But
I think
hilarious.
I think my greatest shame is I've never seen or read Harry Potter before.
I mean, J.K. Rowling's really not a good writer, so really not missing out on much. You could watch the movies and it would be fine.
I like to watch the movies. I tried to read the first book when it came out. I'm like, this is boring, and then I never picked it back up again. And I've never had any interest in the movies, but I do enjoy a good.
My mom
solid
forced
poop
them
joke.
on me. I love a good poop joke.
You said
Like,
something.
Scatological humor.
It's got lots of
Deep down, I am a 12-year-old boy. I love poop jokes. I love boner jokes. Like, I don't care.
Dr.
I
Wiener
love
McBoner.
lowest common denominator. Lowest common denominator humor, like, just makes me so happy.
I like to think of myself as being like somewhat of like a sophisticated guy, but I agree. I will never not laugh at a fart or a burp or gross
Every
bodily
time.
function. It's just very
Hilarious
silly.
every time.
Just like toots. It's fun.
Well, because, like, even Beyonce farts.
Yeah. She farts like $1 billion sentence.
Yeah.
Because she's
I'm
incredible.
sure that it comes out as, like, actual gold flakes. I don't know, but she still farts. A classy lady. I'm drinking wine out of a mason jar and talking about farts.
Just fart it up.
Welcome to Brown Machismo Night.
It's I don't know if you heard the beginning of it, but I uploaded. I tried to find like the most like non-porn saxophone solo I could find at the beginning, so it's just like a jazzy noir set. Because I was like, this is gonna be a mature conversation. It's just like, hey, how about a good old toot? Poops McKenzie over here.
I mean, you are Brown Machismo.
Yeah, I am full of shit. That's why my mom says I have brown eyes.
My gamer tag sounds like a Dahngrest.
I still can't say your gamer tag right. I still call it Dahngrest. I can't say the first word. My stupid Philadelphia accent does not let me say words that sound with an ALL. It all comes out all.
Dahngrest.
Dahngrest.
That's literally it. Dahngrest.
Yeah. Dahngrest. Yeah,
It's spelled stupid because it's from a Japanese RPG.
One of the questions that I always like to ask friends guests on the show is, I already know the answer because we talk about this all the time, but same thing like John. That's how my brain says it. Dahngrest. I can't not say it like that. It's my stupid Northeast accent.
Coco thought it was Dahngrest.
Coco is a simple boy, and I love him for it. But what is the origin of your? You have a couple different. If you want to go through all of your little like aliases, please feel free. But what is the origin of your gamer tag, of your brand?
So Dahngrest is a city. It is the city of guilds in Tales of Vesperia, and I love that game. It's in my top 5. It just got a remaster. Anyone who loves RPGs or weird battle mechanic games, I highly recommend getting the 10th anniversary remaster. It's great. The main character, the hero of the story, is actually an anti-hero, and he's magical and wonderful, and he saves the world, but he also kicks people into a sand. So, can't all be heroic, beautiful white knights.
Yeah, can't all be white.
But it's a really fun game, and it's got a pretty solid story, and I cosplayed the main character, and I just liked the name Dahngrest, and at the time, because it was the age of LiveJournal, you tried to steal any good names that you could to sit on them in case you wanted to use them, so I started snagging Dahngrest everywhere because the game was relatively new, and no one had claimed it anywhere yet. So, Yuri is best boy, Rebel. Yuri is best boy.
Yuri's
people into quicksand while the rest of the party isn't looking.
Yuri is what I kept thinking Yaoi was, and that's boy love, so I was close. No, I wasn't.
Yuri is girl love, Yaoi is boy love.
You knew what I meant. Boys on boys.
I know, it was just really funny when you were asking, and you're like, and I'm like, no, that's not what we're talking about, Brown. No.
I think so. You were a big fan of
Google it.
You were a big fan of my buddy Tony on, and I'm sure he's played that game. So I'll ask.
Oh my God, Tony was great.
I'll tell him we gave him a shout out.
Yeah. Shout out to Tony.
I'm legally shout out to Cups.
Shout out to Cups.
It's catching on, everyone. Shout out to Cups.
So yeah, Dahngrest comes from the Tales of Vesperia game. My Twitch moniker, which is Rurikid, comes from medieval Russia, because that's the other half of my college degree was I did anthropology and I did Russian history.
That's very cool.
The Rurikid dynasty. It's not Rurikid as everyone pronounces it. It's Rurikid.
That's how I always thought it.
Rurikid. When the Kievan Rus, which was the original name of like the Rusian people, which became the Russian people, they were ruled by a few different princes, and one of them was Rurik.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Rurik's bloodline that wound up creating the first dynasty of Russia, which included Ivan the Great and Ivan the Terrible. There are only two Russian dynasties. One is the Rurikid dynasty, and then the other one is the Romanov dynasty.
Mm.
So Dahngrest was taken, and every other name that I usually would use as a username was taken on Twitch, but Rurikid wasn't, so I went with it.
What are the odds that that obscure Russian dynasty would not have a Twitch to show off its Russianness?
Right? How has no one claimed that yet? And then my Twitter username is Toby Day, which is the main hero in Seanan McGuire's Rosemary and Rue urban fantasy novels. And me and Rebel read those books religiously and have a close and loving, creepy relationship with Seanan McGuire because she is a wonderful human being and she's very interactive with her fans. I got to go to a book signing in September and I dressed as her main character.
That's pretty cool.
Showed up just looking very angry and covered in blood. And Seanan was very excited to see someone show up at a book signing just covered in blood.
Have you ever seen the video of the guy who was a first-time author and he saw his first ever cosplay and the girl
yeah, Jeremy Dooley, he's part of Achievement Hunter.
Yeah, I thought that was
his goddamn mind. It was super wholesome.
I as someone who wants to one day kind of do that, that's kind of cool that someone takes something you love and does something with it. That's kind of like an inspiration to me.
I was so excited.
That's cool.
I got kitty litter commercials can make me cry. Literally anything can pretty much make me cry. I'm a white woman in my 30s. Everything makes me cry. That video made me cry. Because it's so wholesome and he's so happy.
I am not quite a 30-year-old white woman. I'm pretty damn close. I also start crying at those commercials now too. So I'm basically.
When I was 25, I was a 30-something-year-old white woman. Yeah. I don't care.
I'm
turning 30 is great because you don't have to care about anything related to public perception anymore.
Right.
When someone's like, really? You spend your Thursday night drinking wine and watching Grey's Anatomy? What are you, a white woman in your 30s? And I'm like, yeah.
Brazingo. That's the best part about turning 30 was I give so many less shits about things. I still I'm still very tense all the time, but a lot of it's not because of that anymore.
I'm still an anxious wreck.
Yeah.
But when people try to judge me on something, I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm. It was like me.
I like what I like. Go for it. Judge me. I'm sorry. I like happiness.
It was like me when I was into wrestling. When I was in high school, I was like, I want to talk to girls. I'm not going to watch wrestling. And then 10 years later after college, I'm like, oh fucking hey, bro, it's watching wrestling. Who gives a shit what the women think now?
Yeah. What's the wrestling?
Yeah, I will say this though, every dating app I've ever looked on that has questionnaires, one of the number one answers is you can't like pro wrestling. I'm like, oh shit. I guess that's why I'm so alone all the time.
I hate all this gatekeeping. I'm like what you like.
Yeah.
You want to like wrestling? That's fine. Be excited about liking wrestling. I don't care. I want to see people who like things.
Yeah, it's better to like things.
Means you're passionate about something.
Yeah, just give a fuck.
Especially when it's
just give a fuck about something.
Don't can't like wrestling, and they watch Real Housewives of Atlanta or something, and I'm like, really?
Mm-hmm. I was at a party.
Just as questionable.
I was at a party and I was talking to this girl, and we were talking a little bit, and I mentioned that I was that was some vibes going, some vibage. We were talking, and I mentioned I really like this podcast where this guy does rapping rivalries as pro wrestling rivalries. And the moment I said pro wrestling, she walked away. And I was like, I had just got done listening to her talking about going to a Survivor convention.
Oh, gross. You dodged a bullet.
I really did. I really. She's talking about how
you deserve better than that.
She ditched work to go to a Survivor meetup. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm like, I'm not into it, but that's cool that you do that. And I was like, yeah, I really like this. This guy did this podcast about pro wrestling and wrestling and rapping analogies called Wrestle Rap. And she was like, I could see the interest in her eyes just go away. And I was like, oh, holy moly.
God, I hate, I
was like, Johnny Fairplay was also in Survivor and wrestling, so what's the big deal, lady?
Let's be real. I'm not into wrestling, but I can appreciate a bunch of ripped-ass dudes.
Hunky Johnny Impact boys. slapping meat on
Goddamn
each other.
Johnny Mundo is a beautiful human being.
John Morrison, Johnny Nitro, Johnny Impact, and
God,
what was
he
his
is
other name? John
beautiful.
Hennigan. Yeah, he used to bedazzle his abs. Remind me to show you that picture of him. He used to bedazzle in his ab curve. I don't even know what you call that. The gaps between the abs, like the little dents. Like I've never had one of those in my entire life. I have a belly button.
I don't know, but I'll put my tongue on it.
Hey, we're getting into the night section now. The slobbing old men. Nights.
But like, I
just love what you
love.
love.
What's wrong with being enthusiastic about something? Like,
yeah,
geez.
It's awesome.
I mean, it's one thing if like they're enthusiastic about kiddie porn or something.
Yeah.
But like,
don't do that.
I don't care. One of my longest like relationships, like he loved Warhammer 40K. I'm like, cool. I don't get it, but have at it, honey.
Go for it.
You're super excited to get new models and paint it. Like, I'm super stoked for you. I'm gonna go drop $600 on cosplay, so I can't really judge you.
You're both nerds.
That was our trade-off. He never asked me how much I spent on cosplay. I never asked him how much he spent on Warhammer models. It's totally fine.
Yeah, it's what love is. Spending money on things that bring you happiness and not rely on others for it. Everyone in the chat's enjoying our nights.
Talk to me about new things.
Nights. If you get a chance, please listen to the beginning.
Hours.
just beginning to listen to the beginning of it, where it's just that really sultry, like, is this a porno kind of saxophone I found on YouTube? Oh, all right. Speaking of porn, what are your top 5 cute animals?
Top 5 cute animals?
Yeah. Because we have a couple top 5 tonight. We have your top 5 animes you wanted to do. I'll get into the top 5 video games.
I prepared for that.
But right now, you have a question for your top 5 cute animals. I want to know what they are.
Okay. Red pandas.
Mm-hmm.
Raccoons.
Mm-hmm.
Tardigrades.
Oh, the little
tardigrades animals?
Water bears?
Count tardigrades as animals? I'm counting tardigrades as animals.
Yeah, the
little
water
bears. They're
water
precious.
Bears. They're called water bears.
Water.
Jay knows what I'm talking about.
Accent anymore.
Water bears.
Lemurs.
Yeah. Okay.
And cows.
Yeah, I'm. I never really gave baby cows a chance, but they are pretty adorable.
Cows in general, like, you have best friends and they get anxious when they're separated from each other.
Yeah,
it's super cute. Cows
that's what
are like just big sweet puppies. Horses scare the bejesus out of me. Horses are terrifying.
Are you,
I don't know why I love cows, but horses scare the bejesus out of me.
You have equiphobia? Equinephobia?
Yeah. Horses killed Superman.
He really did. They fucked his day up.
Horses tangentially killed Superman.
Have you ever seen the video of the football player Eric Berry talking about his fear of horses?
No.
Oh, so Eric Berry, the all-pro safety from the Chiefs, did a video where he talked about his fear of horses. He was like, "Yeah, I went to a petting zoo one day and the horse bit me," and I was like, "Dang, horse, I trusted you." And ever since then, he's been afraid of horses. And it's a legit fear. Like, it wasn't just like a little skit. Like, they had him mic'd and the horse ran by him for their mascot. He's like, I don't mess with no horses.
That's amazing.
I'll put it in the Discord.
Horses freak me out.
I respect that.
They're majestic. They could cave my head in.
Oh, for sure.
When I was like, I don't know, 7 or 8, like, went to the state fair and my mom wanted to put me on the pony ride and I was like kind of okay with it, and then I was on the pony and I just had a breakdown and I just like was terrified and refused to do anything or enjoy anything. She had to like pull me off of the pony as I hyperventilated.
And they smell horrible.
Yeah.
They don't smell great.
Cows really don't smell that great either, but
that's not their
fault.
They're
sweet and gentle, and horses scare the bejesus out of me because they can smell my fear.
They respond to your essence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my essence is constantly anxious.
So what was a cow, lemur, tetragrades?
Cows, lemurs, raccoons, red pandas, and tardigrades.
That's a pretty solid list. I like that. My list was Katy Perry 5 times. She's my favorite.
Super cute.
No,
She is super cute.
Red pandas, sea otters, they're definitely in there for me.
The otters are super cute, but they're also like tiny little monsters. Like they rape baby seals to death and then carry the corpse of the baby seal around to keep playing with after.
Well,
yeah,
I didn't need to know that.
Yeah, see, they're super cute, but they're also horrible monsters. Oh, but they hold hands when they're sleeping so that they don't drift apart. Yeah, they also rape baby seals.
Well, baby
Horny
seals.
little monsters.
Baby seals were also on my top list, but not anymore. Thanks.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna think about dead baby.
I still think otters are cute. They're just the cutest little rapists, I guess.
Why are you the way that you are?
I
hate so many things about the way she chooses. I've done that before too, and I didn't. It's usually by accident, but yeah, I understand that. So in lighter news, you've actually gone through. You have the longest string of obscenities you can muster. If you want to do that one, you can. But that's all the questions from fans. So I have this. I have a bunch of weirdo questions. But we're getting close to. I'm still ready to. I'm still pretty wide awake if you want to keep going with this. But we've been going for almost an hour.
It's only 8:00 for me.
That's true. All my guests have been on normal.
I'm currently trying to think about my top 5 list of video games now. Now that you've warned me that it's coming.
Yeah, I want to know what that one is. But Rebel has a question that she has not typed out yet. She just says, "I ask her this a lot." I don't know if there's a follow up to that, or if that's your horse question.
No.
Here's a question for you. Ready?
I think it was in relation to me ruining things about otters.
Oh.
Why am I like that? Yeah, she asks me that a lot.
All right, here's a question for you.
To be fair, I also ask her that a lot.
What is your favorite dinosaur?
So, my favorite dinosaur is the Tarbosaur.
Mm-hmm.
It recently got renamed.
No.
They used to be part of the Tyrannosaur family. It's the Tyrannosaurus bataar. Now it's the Tarbosaurus bataar. And they are specifically indigenous to Mongolia.
Oh, wow.
This will come up soon. But so far, their fossils have only been found in what's now modern-day Mongolia. And they get smuggled out of Mongolia and sold on the black market and sold without any provenance information very often. There was recently, like in the last 5 to 10 years, a big crackdown on repatriating these dinosaurs back to Mongolia because they're considered like sacred in Mongolia because, it's their dinosaur.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, Nick Cage bought one in auction and he found out that it was part of this giant Tarbosaur smuggling ring and he kindly donated it back to Mongolia.
What a nice guy.
They're just like a slightly smaller version of a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Mm-hmm.
But I just like that they're called Tarbosaurs.
Yeah.
Sounds like Garbo, and it really speaks to me on a personal level.
You are a garbage person. I respect that.
I love being a garbage person.
This next question relates to you. This is one we're busting out on a brand new Knights edition. So picture this.
Ooh.
You just took a dump. It's time to wait.
Okay.
Sitting or standing?
I like hover.
So it's slightly sit then.
I don't fully stand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of like a sit. Like my butt definitely leaves the toilet seat.
Mm-hmm.
So I can get a better angle, but I'm definitely not like fully standing.
Do you know there are people who fully
just
stand?
Kind of like that's so much effort.
No, I'm hovering or I'm barely leaving a cheek. I'm
like hovering. It's like a low squat.
Yeah.
You get like a good angle for the wipe.
Yeah, that's fair. But there's people there are monsters who fully stand up to do it. It's like, no, I'm sitting down, bro.
I can't sit to do it, because what if your hand goes into the toilet and you brush your poop?
Well, you're not scooping. You're still getting up a little bit. But my goal in life is to sit as much as possible.
I'm one of those heathens. I go back to front.
Oh wow, that's weird.
Yeah.
I've heard about that.
I'm really awkwardly shaped, and I can't really reach behind me like that.
so that's why you relate so much to the Travarosaur or whatever, because you're just weirdly shaped. Tarbosaur. You're a human Tarbosaur.
I'm just like weirdly lanky, but like I don't have a lot of like spinal flexibility, so I can't like reach up behind my asshole to pull back. Like this is so much effort.
I've pulled my back doing that before, and that hurt. I will never make fun of an athlete. Like, you hear reports of athletes, like, getting hurt really dumb ways, and I'm always just like, oh, no, dude, I threw my back out wiping once, so I will never make fun of you for that ever again.
I once threw my back out sneezing, so...
That's because you're violently ejecting things out of your body.
I, like,
this
sneezed and something in my back just went, ping!
Yeah, that's the one part about, like, once you hurt your back once, it's, like, hurt forever.
Also, I was 20.
Oh, well, that's a garbage body.
Yeah, no, I mean, my body's been falling apart since I was like 14, so...
My viewership went up 3 after we learned about pooping. Oh, great. All the poop perverts are here now. Hi,
awesome.
Poop perverts.
Awesome.
All right, so you survived the first really...
I love it.
That was one of the more bizarre questions that I had. A lot of these questions are not original. There is a podcast that I listen to called The Best Friends, and they always ask the same questions, and the top 2 questions are how do you wipe and favorite dinosaur. So I want to keep them. They don't do the show anymore, so I want to keep their memory alive. So that's why I asked you about pooping and your favorite dinosaur.
Honorable.
Yeah. And I'm willing to... Nothing I do is original. Everything I do is a ripoff. Like, even Brown Machismo is not original. That story is, like, I got it from an old wrestling show, and I just took it and it became my own. And now everyone just calls me Brown, and I'm really self-conscious about my skin color. Go ahead.
Achievement Hunter had a guy named Raynar Veyes, and his gamer tag was Brown Man. So when I saw Brown Machismo, I thought it was like a throwback to Brown Man, who's now like a super popular Twitch streamer too. And he's Puerto Rican, so like he just owned up the fact that he's brown. And it's like whatever, yeah, I'm the Brown Man.
And that's.
I just thought it was you owning your brownness.
The funny part about that is when I first joined, people first heard me talk. Rad Revolt in particular was like, we thought he was a white dude trying to be funny and edgy. It's like, no, I'm just an adopted guy from Northeast Philly. I'm as brown as brown as a state of mind. it's a skin color, and it's like, it's like I'm white enough for some, not brown enough for others. I'm just like a warm caramel color.
You're a beautiful shade of caramel.
I am. I really am. I'm a national treasure.
I always like to discuss like how much cream someone likes in their coffee by thinking of whatever sexy celebrity skin tone it matches.
Give me a Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah. Like, I'll take my coffee with cream, like Beyonce. My
coffee is 60% cream and sugar. It's not even coffee at that point.
My coffee is Kristen Ritter.
Might as well just drink some milk.
It's just all milk.
Yeah. Oh, I'm French creamer, French creamer, French vanilla coffee from
French
Wawa.
vanilla. Yeah.
Where were you on the Wawa sheets discussion? Were you Wawa?
I have never eaten it either, so
I
have no pony in this. Like, I grew up in upstate New York, so I don't think Wawa or Sheetz were up there. The only things that I remember from upstate New York were like Price Chopper and Friendly's and that weird breakfast place that was in a train car.
I don't know that one.
Bird probably knows what I'm talking about.
Was that a chain?
It's like a weird New England thing where like they just take a train car and turn it into a restaurant. I don't know if it's a chain or not, but like me and Bird grew up in a really similar place. Like he grew up on the other side of Albany.
Jay will know this because he's from that area, but I don't know if it's still there, but there was a restaurant that was a train. It was a train car just in the middle of Street Road in Warminster. I don't know if it's still there, but maybe it is a chain because we had that too. But of course,
like it's like specifically like the East Coast, like 13 colonies. I have only ever seen these train car like restaurant places in that territory.
Oh, well, it's building, so might as well build it in it.
Yeah.
It was
I've never
nice.
seen them anywhere else. Weirdest thing.
Are you
Like I mentioned it to people in California or Washington, and they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, this is definitely an East Coast thing.
When was the last time you were on the East Coast?
Um, it was Thanksgiving. Want to say early 20s, so at least 10 years ago.
Damn.
A real bad niece. Okay, one, it's really expensive to go California to New York when you're poor.
Yep. It's expensive to go when you're not poor.
Also, like, I don't have a great relationship with my dad, so I'm afraid that if I go for like Thanksgiving or or like Christmas or something like that, my dad will be there. Even though I'm pretty sure the rest of my family has also blacklisted my dad, there's just always that anxiety of, oh God, my dad's going to be there. I'm going to have to pretend to like him.
That's fair. Well, if you're ever on the East Coast, or
But
if
I
I ever
love
go to
my
West Coast, let me
family.
know.
Yeah, I'm looking at museum jobs, and I'm looking at stuff in like New York, Boston, Philly. I'm basically,
Philadelphia.
after this program, I'm going where someone will give me a job offer. Basically where I'm going.
I respect that.
But if I wind up in Boston, so be it. If I wind up in South Dakota, so be it. Like, I'm literally just going where I get a job offer. Would it be great to be in, Los Angeles, so me and Rachel can go to Disneyland all the time? Hell yes.
And who is
I'm
Rachel?
going where I get a job offer. Rachel is Rebel.
And who is Rebel?
Rebel is my best friend in the whole wide world.
Exactly. All right, so you have another question in the chat from our dear, sweet, simple boy Coco. What's your top 5 least favorite / annoying as fuck characters on Overwatch?
See, my list is going to differ greatly from all of our like super professional, like top tier people.
We're garbage people. We
because-
play who we like.
I'm garbage, and like I have really bad game sense, so I'm really bad at countering a Genji no matter what. Most annoying, Genji, Fist, Tracer, now that I can't take her down super quickly as Brig. Yes. Let's see. Goddamn Hamster, just because I panic every time and I'm really bad at playing him. And let's see. What else do I panic about whenever I get the mystery heroes? Trying to think.
Widowmaker?
Like 97 characters now. Yeah, I'm pretty bad at Widowmaker.
You know who I'm surprised you didn't mention?
So if,
Is May.
No, I love May. Like, I play May.
You are a garbage person.
I hate Red May, but I love Blue May.
I respect that.
Just like, fuck Red Hanzo. Red Hanzo can go die in a fire, but Blue Hanzo is my boy.
Coco says you play Brigitte literally Genji's
I
counter.
know, but he's too fast. I have no game sense. Genji usually comes in and chips away at me before I even remember to bash him. I'm too busy spinning around in circles going, what's hitting me?
Yeah, I respect that.
I'm sorry, I'm not 21 and super good at video games, Coco.
We have old people reflexes now, Coco.
Yeah, I have old people reflexes at this point.
Yeah.
I love Brig because I can peel, like, as a healer, I can peel for myself and I can protect myself. Like, I panic so hard as Mercy because I can't do anything. My only option is to run away.
Of course, you're also a member of the Symmetra clan, so she's the best character in the game.
I'm still incredibly upset that Pun said that you were the only Symmetra he's okay with.
I mean, we can do a Symmetra 101 if you want.
He knows 2 goddamn Symmetras that can carry. But he's only okay with you.
Well, what can he say? He has good taste.
Just a little salty, just saying. Nick, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, that's what she said, Nick. Okay. So Overwatch is a big part of our lives, I would say. But I think it's time for your top 5 favorite video games of all time.
Okay.
Let's do it.
It's gonna be great because Overwatch isn't on there.
That's mine. Neither is on mine too. So.
All right. So.
And is this in any order, or is this just a list?
2 through 5 aren't in any specific order, but I do have a number 1, so I'm gonna save number 1 for last.
Okay, that's fair.
So 5 through 2 in no specific order is Tales of Vesperia, the Mass Effect series, Final Fantasy X, and Dragon Age, the series. And then number 1 video game of all time is Sonic Adventure 2.
Really?
Yes. I grew up a Sonic kid. Like, my first console was a Sega System. My first video game was Sonic the Hedgehog 2. God, I don't remember if it was this morning or if it was yesterday, but like, first swear word that I ever learned was from my mom playing Sonic 2. She would give me the second controller, and I would play as Tails in Sonic 2, but in Sonic 2, Tails doesn't do anything.
Is Adventures the other
Literally
Dreamcast one?
there.
Or the GameCube one?
Yes. Adventure is Dreamcast and GameCube.
Okay.
So, like, I grew up a Sonic kid, so I've played every Sonic game. And then Sonic Adventure 2, just, it has a really good story. Gameplay mechanics are great. I definitely didn't cry, and I definitely don't cry when I replay it. I replay it probably every 6 months, and this game came out in, like, 2001.
I have a confession to make. Another video game confession. I have never played a Sonic game before. I've played, like, when I say, like, I played, like, a level of it, but I've never played, like, any of the Sonic games.
It's me with Mario. I never had Nintendo systems growing up. So I've never really played a Mario game. I've never played a single Legend of Zelda game.
Really?
And I didn't have Nintendo systems.
No, I can say that too. I've played them, but I've never beat them.
Yeah.
Like I have to my right
I've
now.
I've never even played one at a friend's house.
I have a Super NES Classic right next to me, and I meant to play and finish Legend of Zelda, and I got like 20 minutes in, and I'm like, I don't know where I'm going, and I just haven't touched it since. I've never beaten or played. I played a little bit of Metroid. I played a little bit when I was a kid. My game of choice was Kirby. I was a big Kirby kid. Like my first system ever.
This makes sense.
Because I'm a big soft boy.
No, like I feel like the game that you associate most to like your childhood is very telling of who you are as a person. Like, I'm a giant spastic, like, fast-talking idiot. Like, it totally makes sense that I was a Sonic kid. There's also a long-standing running joke that, like, kids with Asperger's were Sonic kids, and I'm a kid with Asperger's, and I was a Sonic kid, so, like, fucking checks out, whatever.
I've never heard that before.
It's a whole thing. It gets into all of the, like, Reddit making fun of autistic kids culture.
I accidentally got.
It's a deep dive into just like shitty people on Reddit.
I actually got a kid kicked out of the Discord today. I don't know if you saw that, but he did he was in the Rent and Vant, and he did like some kind of rant about something, and he wrote like "re" in all capitals. I'm like, bro, I guess I know this is rant, but please don't do re's. And he left. Apparently the feedback was Ben Pye messaged. He's like, "Hey man, thanks for taking care of that." I'm like, "Oh, I didn't mean to. I thought I was just trying to be not. I'm trying to be more inclusive."
Thank you, because I feel like such a buzzkill every time someone makes a re-joke, and I'm like, "Can we not?
It's
like,
stupid.
Can we just not do this?"
My little sister is mentally disabled and she's autistic, and I don't stand for people who do. You're attacking low hanging fruit. Like, what the fuck? What
really
good does that do
targets.
that? Don't do that. It's stupid.
For the most part, I pretty much pass unless I tell people like, "Hi, I'm a high functioning autistic." Most people don't know.
Yeah. My sister, you get one glance at her and it's like, yeah, you know something's wrong.
Fucking, yeah.
I don't.
For the most part, I pass
that.
pretty well. Then you ask me to talk about Russian history, and I'll go on like a 20-minute rant about Ivan the Terrible. So that's when people start picking up on it.
Nah, yeah, it's the Gillette commercial. We can be better. Like, let's be better humans. Yeah. We're pretty shitty as humans. Let's just do better.
A lot lot of people don't know like what the re-joke came from, so
Yeah.
I'm usually like I'm like, hey, just a heads up, like this is making fun of autistic kids when they get overexcited and forget how
Yeah.
to verbalize. Like, can we maybe pick something different to use as this reference? And most people are like, oh, I'm really sorry. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't know. And I'm like, that's fine. That's why I was giving you the warning.
It's like it's not
people
a
like,
Rick and Morty joke. It's a riff on an actual like event. Like you don't need to do that. It's fine. Like there's the English language, language in general is just full of so many swear words you can say. You don't have to make fun of someone like.
Oh, I should tell you the first swear word I ever learned.
Oh,
Because
go
my
ahead.
mom was playing Sonic.
Yeah.
Was the word fuckface. Not fuck, not shit. No.
The
It
hard
was my
F.
mom yelling, fuckface.
It's not. It wasn't
Real
my.
creative with her swears.
It wasn't my first swear word, but it's my favorite swear word, and it's from an old Simpsons episode where Homer called somebody a jerk ass. And it just it still makes me laugh to this day, like, you jerk ass. And it's like, yeah, it's still a great one.
I wish Nova was in here just because ass butt's still hilarious.
Ass butt's gonna be always funny. Let's fucking go.
Like,
I can't do Nova's deep, brooding man voice. I am but a child compared to that
deep,
boy.
Beautiful,
Let's
dulcet
fucking
tones
go.
that Pun's probably jerking off to.
Cranking it constantly. Oh, okay, here's a
all the time.
here's a good question. Favorite term for masturbating?
Buzzing one out.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I like the lady ones because they're always like extra gross and you're not really thinking about it. Buzzing one out is so great. Buzzing one out is amazing.
I'm all about cranking it. That's my favorite one of all time.
Cranking it's also good.
Cranking
I
it.
like jerking the gherkin.
Lady cranks? Or not even say cranking. You
cranks.
just call them cranks.
I always like the really subtle like lady time.
Personal time.
Buzzing
little
one
me
out
time.
is like my favorite. Yeah, like buzzing one out is like just vulgar enough. like when guys can be like, I totally popped a boner. I have no problem in like discussions where we're talking about hot people where I'll be like, oh yeah, I just ovulated. I dropped an egg, and they're like, that's disgusting. And I'm like, you literally just said you came in your pants.
It's only fair.
I said I dropped an egg, and you're like, oh, whoa. Taking a little far there.
One of my other favorite ones is I'm going to conclude, or I'm going to pray. I got that from the Game Grumps. They were like, I'm going to pray. I'm like, oh, hell yeah, that's hilarious.
Oh, that's great.
I'm going to pray.
I've always been a big fan of buzzing one out.
All right, buzzing one out.
It's disgusting. I love it. Because it is very exclusively like female masturbation. Most dudes aren't going to be buzzing one out.
Hey, you never know. People give me that kind of stuff.
Never know.
Tumblr showed me some. What about a geese?
Quote from Firefly.
Oh,
It's just, you know, everybody does something different. Some people juggle geese.
I watched Firefly. I'm not a big I don't think I'm a big sci-fi guy, but I watched Firefly and I wasn't really super into it, but I did like Battlestar Galactica for the first 2 seasons before they went like insane.
Oh, the new Battlestar Galactica?
Yeah, the one I never watched the original one. I never watched the
where
one
they
season
decide to
of
make Starbuck a girl, and then they're like, we're not going to make it a love triangle, but then they made it a love triangle. I'm fine with Starbuck being a girl, but I really didn't need the love triangle.
Yeah, that was stupid. Anything with a demon was stupid. But as long as William James M was on it,
And really,
I was fine.
Samuel Anders deserved better.
Did you ever? I'm gonna try and get into some. I'm not challenging you. I'm just you and I have a very similar interest range, and I want to name some obscure stuff and see if you know it. Remember the Nickelodeon version of Battlestar Galactica, Space Cases?
Space Cases, yeah.
Yeah.
3 Manuel Jones and
Yeah.
Jules
And his-
State at her
and his-
youngest as Catalina, whose
and his
best friend
9
Susie
fingers.
wasn't there.
And what was the dude with the curly ears from Saturn?
Radu.
Yeah. Oh, and the little
Dude,
and
that
the
was like my first slash ship.
What was it?
Harlan and Radu when I was like 10 years old. I was like, oh, these dudes are totally gay for each other. I didn't know that's what
who was the
slash
little
and like shipping was.
Who was the little Indian dude?
Oh my god. I can visualize him, but he was just
He had
such like a tertiary part of
And
the
he had
cast.
he had a little
No one
he had
cared
a
about
little
his
bowl
plot
cut.
lines.
I had a big
Yeah,
crush on
and
the
literally no one cared about him. Rosie, little pink one.
No, I had a crush on
Mercury?
the girl that came out of the opposite zone or whatever it was called.
Susie.
Yeah, I had a crush on her.
Susie, yeah.
Hmm. Jewel.
That was because Jewel State was she had two pilots picked up at the same time.
Hmm.
She had already started shooting Space Cases and finished season 1 when the other pilot got picked up by the Disney Channel, which was Flash Forward.
Ooh, it's also another name from the past.
With baby Ben Foster. I'm a walking IMDb. I got raised by TV because I was raised by a single mom.
What was the show? I mentioned a show that you didn't get, and I was kind of proud of myself for you not knowing who it was. The Knights of Tiranoog.
Oh, yeah, like it just barely, like it didn't air when I was.
It was in the. It was in the.
thing.
Yeah.
It was like.
It was like
It was
Power
just,
Rangers
like,
for
not-
like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember seeing advertisements for it. To be fair, I also mentioned something that you didn't know because you didn't know about Los Luchadores.
That blew my mind when I saw that. I'm like, how the hell did I not know this?
Only had like one season, but I absolutely loved it.
Was it only in
It was
California?
ridiculous. No,
I
it was a
never
Fox Kids
I
show.
I never remember that on Fox Kids.
It was only on for like one season, and then it was gone. But that's where I fell in love with Sarah Carter. Like I still to this day will watch anything she's in.
What's another really good one? What's the one is Farscape? Was that any good?
Farscape was pretty good. Yeah.
Okay,
I
have
watched Farscape.
I have a backlist of things that I'm like kind of interested in watching. Farscape was on there.
Lex is kind of skippable, like especially if you get annoyed with like overly excessive sex scenes for no reason. Like Lex was kind of like, we're gonna be a sci-fi show, but we're gonna be sexy.
That was the one on
Just
Sci-Fi.
like, why is everyone boning all the time?
It's like, why are you boning when you
It's
could
just,
be
like,
in space?
excessive. I'm fine with boning, but like I want it to be for a reason.
I was like that
It's
with
like
the.
everyone's fucking all the time, and I'm like, what was the point of this?
I was like that when I was watching the Marvel series on Netflix. It's like, we get it. You're all sexy. I don't give a shit. Go fight.
To be fair, anytime that I can look at Mike Coulter shirtless, I'm gonna be fine with it. I'm really not gonna complain.
Obviously.
Man is a beautiful beefcake.
What was the? Oh, what's another one? Cleopatra 2525.
Cleopatra 2525.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, that was a thing.
Okay.
It had Zoe from Firefly before she was on Firefly. I just totally blanked on the actress's name, even though I'm staring right at her beautiful face in my head.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
Cleopatra 2525 aired in a double feature on Saturdays before Hercules and Xena with Jack
Yeah.
of All Trades, which had Bruce Campbell in it.
Is that what it was? Oh, I remember that show. I think
Yeah.
on
he was a master thief.
WB. No, our hero would be WB 17.
UPN.
UPN.
Yeah, I think it was either UPN or WB for us.
I
don't
think
know. It was syndicated, so it was weird.
Okay, I was definitely WB
Yeah, it was
17
like
here.
Saturdays.
Yeah, because it would be on right
Yeah.
before. My mornings would be getting up to
Hercules and
watch
Xena.
WMCA Masters, which was a karate show for kids, and it blew my mind. And then they had Battle Dome, and then they had Karate Fighters. No, it was sponsored by Karate Fighters. I was in a really big American Gladiators phase as a kid. I was really into that show.
Oh yeah.
Gosh,
I used to build like
It was so cool.
obstacle courses in the living room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I just wish more into that show
I wanted
now.
to be
So I
on
can get in
American
shape.
Gladiators until I realized that I really just it's so much effort. I can't be a bodybuilder.
I always liked it when TGIF shows did crossover events like that, where I think it was like,
Oh yeah.
where it was Family Matters went on American Gladiators. That's the coolest thing in the world. And then in rewatching Family Matters, I'm like, this show is very problematic. You should not watch this now. It's just Steve negging Laura for 7 seasons. Oh my god.
Right? Steve Urkel is a horrible. Steve Urkel is like what nice guys now are. It's like,
Yes.
but like I did all these nice things. Like, look how many punches I have in my nice guy card. This means you're gonna suck my dick, right?
Laura, I just wanted to love you, and you never let me have the chance. And the crowd was like, "Aww." And it's like
Aw.
Steven.
And it's like, no, Steve Urkel is an asshole.
Yeah. He definitely roofied somebody on that show. That had to be one of the episodes.
Right?
Do you remember the episode of Family Matters where they had the
No.
drive-by?
Yeah, there was. Oh God.
It was Trini.
We're getting deep into like 90s era like teen shows.
Oh
I'm
man,
here for it.
TGI Fridays, or not TGI. Yeah, TGI Friday. No, TGIF. TGI Fridays is a restaurant.
TGIF.
TGIF, yeah.
But I mean, it's the same thing. It's still thank God it's Friday.
Mm-hmm. Step by step, day by day. That was a
Day
good
by
show.
day.
That was a good show. Hanging
After when he still looked good.
Hanging with Mr. Cooper. Was that a UPN show?
Yeah.
That was a good show.
Hanging with Mr. Cooper was UPN, yeah.
Okay.
It was on like Tuesdays at like 9.
Oh, I was into a lot of like shows as a kid, like the Hood with Robert Townsend and Faze in Love as the Black family. That was awesome.
Oh my God, yeah. Yes.
Oh, what other? Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
I like religiously watched Moesha.
Yeah, I watched Moesha and Sister.
That era, like, Brandy was a goddamn national treasure.
Brandy and what's her face?
She went to prom with Kobe Bryant.
That's pretty awesome.
Countess Vaughn. Excuse you, Countess Vaughn.
What's the one?
I feel like this is the part of the show where everyone's gonna tune out because we're just getting deep into weird 90s teen shows.
We'll have to do another episode dedicated just to like 90s TV shows.
We're gonna start a podcast. We're gonna start a podcast about 90s teen shows.
I would be all about it. I watched a lot of that as a kid, and I kind of watched. I started looking back now, and I'm like, oh man, this isn't great.
Well, Mom, we couldn't afford a babysitter. TV raised me.
Oh yeah. See, like we're in the age group where like we're millennials, but we're
the older millennials.
Yeah,
we're still safe to like walk home from school on your own and babysit yourself.
I was just out to dinner with a friend. We were talking about like when I was a kid. Like, I used to walk home from school in Northeast Philly. Like no one would even think about it. My mom would give me a couple $, to go to the corner grocery store to grab some candy on the way home. I'd walk down a busy road in Northeast Philly.
Wow.
Now it's like
what a gifted life you had.
And now it's like you
can't
get
no candy money.
Well, I mean, it was in lieu of giving me an allowance.
Got an allowance?
Yeah, I got an allowance. I'm from like from a slightly lower middle class. I had a very
slightly upper lower middle class.
Yeah, I had a very normal like I don't want to say normal, but I'm verbally air quoting.
Pretty average, like
yeah, like my dad worked, my mom was at home. We ate dinner. It really blew all my friends' minds when at 5:00 or like 5:30, my dad would come home and we'd have dinner together as a family. Like I'd have friends come over and they're like, "You guys are going to eat together?" And it's like, yeah. It's like, you're not going to eat and then like watch TV. It's like, no, we don't eat TV. We don't watch TV during dinner. It's like your parents are still married, and it's like, yeah, they've been married for like 18 years. And it's like, this is not how I grew up. And it's like, oh man.
Yeah, I grew up like a divorced kid, single mom, living in an apartment.
No, we
watched TV and had dinner.
We'd have dinner every night. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, mostly because of my sister, but she was a stay-at-home mom, and my dad worked, and I went to school and came home, and I did like average life. And my friends are always like, I can't believe you had that life. I never had it growing up. And it's like, that was my normal. I go to a friend's house and it's like, you see a kid talking back to their mom and you're like, oh my God, you can't say that to your mom. It's your mom.
See, I grew up like in this weird thing where like my mom was my best friend because I was bullied. So like, I didn't have a whole lot of friends growing up, but I had my mom. My mom always had my back.
Mama
I had this weird thing where...
Go for it.
My mom was my best friend. Like, I was a goody-goody through high school.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't date in high school because my mom didn't let me, but I didn't really care.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, she let me dye my hair weird colors. She'd let me buy stupid plaid bondage pants from Hot Topic or whatever.
Oh, man. Were you a Hot Topics babe in high school?
I didn't... Oh, my God. Brown, in freshman year of high school, I had blue hair. It was that girl.
That was all the girls I was afraid to talk to in high school.
Yeah, I know. Everyone was afraid to talk to me, too, which is hilarious because I was just a big dork with blue hair.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as long as I didn't drink, do drugs, or have sex and kept my grades up, I could present myself however I wanted.
I
just remember...
Oh, that's... Just thinking of, like, I remember people like that in high school. I'm like... It's like, oh man, they're the coolest kids in the world. They got their pants from Hot Topic. She's wearing a... What's the little girl with the knife in her hand? Emily?
Emily.
Yeah,
Emily
like,
the Strange.
yeah, it's like Emily. Like she has an Emily the Strange T-shirt on. I bet she's the coolest girl in the world. And then, like I finally started talking to her, and it's like, oh my god, you're just a big nerd. Why is I so afraid to talk to you?
Yeah, we were.
I'm sorry.
We were just big nerds. We were just a little edgy.
Yeah,
And like I'm a few years older than you, so like when I was shopping at Hot Topic, it was like the devil worshiper store.
Yes,
it was so scary. Like Hot Topics had the wrought iron gates in front of them, and like
it
always
was.
had speed metal playing. Oh, it was amazing.
It was like the.
I used to go there to get like punk music.
Everything was his.
I was a little punk.
Everything was his infernal majesty everywhere. It was like a goth set.
Us, it was like
of it.
Him and like
Cradle of Filth.
Lots of metal bands.
Oh yeah, now it's just like
I miss those days.
Now I go in there and I'm like an old man. I'm like, who the hell are these people?
Why are there PewDiePie shirts?
It's like what the hell is a ninja? Back in my day, we had Cradle of Filth and we liked it. We were more afraid of it than we liked it. We liked it.
Weird baby doll cut T-shirts with the glittery fairies on them.
Yes,
and we liked it.
Oh, and Spencer's gift shop was all like it felt like it was an adult store because there were like weird sex toys everywhere. Oh man,
right?
Jay, if you're still listening,
like,
do you remember?
Handcuffs and like sex,
do you,
dice.
Yeah. Oh, the fuzz dice and like.
Amy Brown fairy art. That's right, Rebel. Amy Brown's fairy art.
I just remember, I remember being in high school and not being like cool enough to be like a mall kid, and the Willow Grove Park Mall is the one that we always had, and I would go there and I'd see like all the cool kids hanging outside Hot Topic, and directly across the hall from Hot Topic was Hollister, and I was like, I feel out of place in both places. Because we grew up in like
out of place in Hollister. It's basically pitch black.
We grew up in like the era of like the mall. Like that was like a social event.
Yeah, I graduated high school and I immediately got a job at the mall.
Oh,
I worked at a Suncoast.
Oh, so I think we both worked. You worked at GameStop too, right?
Yeah, I worked at GameStop for on and off for 5 years.
Yeah, so did I. So GameStop was like the reason why I went to the mall. Spencer's Gifts, Hot Topic, EB. I worked at EB Games. That was my jam.
Yeah, I worked in a mall that had an EB and a GameStop during the merger.
Yeah, so did I. Mine was on.
And they kept both stores.
Yeah, and mine was directly above it to the left. I remember exactly where it was because ours
were on opposite sides of the mall.
Oh, that makes more sense. Ours were like next to each other.
Yeah. Well, and it was great because the EB Games was between a Cinnabon and a Briar Patch, which is a cigar shop. Their back room just smelled like cigars and Cinnabon.
Ooh.
It was disgusting.
I had the GameStop that I worked at. I was working at Mrs. Fields Cookies at the time, and it was right next. Yeah. It was like real close to the GameStop, and I used to go to the GameStop on my breaks to go talk to the guys because they'd always come over and like I'd give them like a free refill on the sodas. Like we just would chat, and they were like they were cool dudes.
Give them my discount because they'd give me cheap soda.
Yeah, and you go over and it's like it's just like friendly in the mall, and I remember one time one of their employees had a semi meltdown in the store, and he was running out of the mall, and he saw me standing behind the cookie counter, and he yelled, "You people are the reason why we have war in the world. You're the reason other people, none of my friends came back from the war." I'm like, what are you talking about, man? And he's like, "You Muslims, you're the reason why there's so much bad in the world." And I was like, I'm
kind of brown person.
I'm Mexican, man. I'm from Northeast Philadelphia. He's like, "Your boss is the reason why, you Muslims." And I was like, my boss is from Pakistan. He's Asian. And the mall security overheard him and escorted him out of the mall. And the store manager from EB Games came over and he's like, "Hey, man, I'm really sorry that he did this to you. Do you want to work for me? I just fired him and I need a person who wants to work at the store." And I was like, racism works. I got a job at EB Games because of it.
Oh, that white savior complex.
It's like, hell yeah. You got your racism wrong and it got me a job, bro. Thank you.
You mean, it's
God.
GameStop. We always had to have like one token brown person so that we didn't look like a bunch of white neckbeards. You had to have a girl and you had to have a brown person.
You always had a girl.
Because most stores had like 7 to 8 people.
Yeah.
One had to be a girl and one had to be brown.
You had to have one. My friend Chris we were the token minority dudes because he's also like me, where we're just really into nerdy stuff. And we've actually had a lot of discussions about that, about like race and like where you fit in like the norm of nerds. So that's a topic for another conversation. If you ever want to have that, we can definitely have a conversation with that.
Oh yeah.
But you always had the black dude who was really in Dragon Ball Z. You had
we had him.
The approachable girl.
That was me.
The not so approachable girl who's like too attractive to work there, but still knows her stuff. And then like the really creepy manager.
Was Yanni.
The really creepy manager. He either balding or he had a really bad beard, or both.
See, that was my manager at Suncoast. My store at GameStop, we were a training store, so we had new managers cycling in and out, and I trained new store managers.
Oh, that's cool.
So we were a training store because we had a really stable staff. So like 3 to 6 months, we would have a new store manager come in, and we'd show them the ropes, we'd get them situated, then they'd get transferred to their store, and then we'd get a new store manager, and we'd do that again.
Our district manager.
Spent most of my career at GameStop training new managers.
Our training store was our district manager's store. That's where we had all of our meetings and stuff. I was an ASM. I was just there, but for some reason I had to go to a bunch of their meetings too. I guess like our manager couldn't go. Our manager was my store manager was a furry, and he was one of the nicest guys I ever met. But he started going off the rails. His life started going off the rails a little bit, and that's when I was like, I think it's time for me to leave. So if you're out there, Cyril Jackal, this message is for you. How are you? I like Cyril. So this conversation really got off the rails really fast.
We totally got off the rails there.
We really did.
What other questions do you have? You haven't asked me my top 5 anime yet.
Okay, let's go with your top 5 animes. Ready, go.
It's gonna be great because all of the other top 5 animes have been like pretty dude bro.
Mm-hmm.
And mine's gonna get real weird.
Go for it. Let's get weird.
So we're gonna go first for the nostalgia. We're gonna do Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
I did a rewatch of Sailor Moon last year during like grad school anxiety, and I literally watched all 201 episodes of Sailor
Christ.
Moon.
Uh-huh.
And Rebel came and visited during that, and then we watched all of the Sailor Moon movies. And then we're gonna get, I don't know if it's better or worse as far as like girly shit goes. We're gonna go into Orin Host Club, which is a story about a girl who usually dresses like a boy to avoid having to deal with people, and goes to a very fancy prep school, and she just tries to, lay low, and then she accidentally breaks a vase and gets recruited into the local host club, which is a bunch of very handsome boys who flirt with girls for money, and hijinks ensue.
Ooh, I'm all about those hijinks.
Yeah. After that is Toradora, because it's adorable, it's sweet, it has everyone's favorite tsundere, which is the, not like I like you or anything, baka. So it's the girl who, she hates you, but she really loves you, but really she hates you, but she totally on the slide, like she loves you. And it'll run over your dog and it'll make you cry like a lot. I couldn't decide between Toradora and Madoka Magica, which is like a magical girl show.
Oh.
But it's really fucked up magical girl show. Like 13-year-old girls get decapitated kind of shit.
Oh.
It's awesome. So Toradora or Madoka, whichever one you want. After that is Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, which is a show about a 30-something woman who works in a shitty desk job, and she hates her life, and she drinks a lot, and she's a big nerd, and she gets lost on the way to her house and accidentally befriends a dragon who's totally in lesbians with her. And then she herself a dragon maid, who's this sweet little girl who has a big dumb lesbian crush on her, but she's also a dragon. It's great. It's a slice of life anime, and it's about like the mid-30s, like just miserable experience of being in your mid-30s. But also you get to be gay for dragons. And my number one anime of all time is A Eureka 7. Is you like giant robots? Do you like giant surfboarding robots? Do you not like giant surfboarding robots? It's okay. They're super non-essential to the plot because this is really about weird, like, alien squid girls who fall in love. It's like 50 episodes of just like super weird 60s surf nostalgia with giant robots, but there's also aliens and there's like magical sky sparkles and there's fish and there's like it's super weird, but it's beautiful and it still makes me cry to this day. And it has like the iconic crazy pink-haired girl. Like every anime that's done it in the last 10 years is totally ripping off of Eureka 7. 100%.
I have heard
Travis, you need to watch Dragon Maid. Dragon Maid is amazing.
Yeah. Go ahead, Travis.
In the chat right now saying this.
Yeah,
Travis, you need to watch Dragon Maid. It's like 12 episodes. It's super easy to watch, and it's precious.
Did you see my friend Varosh's top 5 anime list? It's Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh, the heart is in the cards, motherfucker.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! DMX,
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh! On motorcycles, Yu-Gi-Oh! Dungeon Dice Monsters, and Pokemon.
I'm really disappointed that there's no Beyblade in there, Varosh.
Yeah, Varosh. Beyblade.
Needs more Beyblade.
I'm surprised you didn't say Card Capture Sakura.
Oh, I do love Card Capture Sakura.
I remember watching that show, trying to get into it.
Pretty great.
What other...
Madoka's just such a great subversion of like the magical girl genre. Because it turns out that magical girls, like, for everything that's good, there's a price. It turns out that it really sucks being a magical girl.
What anime do I want to watch? Hey, thanks for the 1 bit, Roche. Appreciate it. I forgot to turn the notifications off. Just a tip. Again, I forgot to turn off notifications. So, I like One Punch Man. I thought that was pretty good.
See, there's so much new stuff that I just haven't seen.
I like that.
One Punch Man, My Hero Academia.
I almost put that on last night. I was flipping through something to watch, and I think that's the one that Pun said he liked. Tony's all about that. Yeah. He's all about Sword Art.
He likes My Hero Academia. Like I haven't watched any of
Assassination Classroom.
I've never seen JoJo's.
I like Fist of the North Star. I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, Fist of the North Star. Let's get deep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, Roche, I'll give it a shot. I've been meaning I want to get more into anime. I really want to.
So hot right now.
I want to expand my nerddom, I guess. It's really the best. I'm really trying to embrace more.
I just ordered the first season of JoJo, and he's gonna try and do like a syndicate group watch of JoJo. Really excited about it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'll give that a shot. What else is on?
I keep saying I'll watch JoJo, and I'm just really bad at remembering to watch anime because I don't get it through the same pipeline as everything else that I watch, so I forget to catch up on it. I was watching Cells at Work, which is adorable, and I got 5 episodes in and stopped watching. I forgot.
I got into Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Like, I'm halfway through it, and I just stopped. I was like, I want to finish it, but I can't. And my buddy Morgan's all about it. It's like his favorite show, and I'm like, it was okay.
Once a series gets past like 50 episodes, it's so much effort.
I actually I think I mentioned this on the Discord earlier, where I said Malcolm in the Middle still holds up really well, and I've been considering watching that again. It's still one of my favorite shows of all time. So I go back and rewatch Grey's Anatomy all the time, and I don't even care. So what was I don't want to spoiler alerts this from this week's episode, but you mentioned there was like a weird body horror injury. What was the injury?
Someone may or may not have been partially cut in half by an elevator.
What? That's one of my top 5 fears of all time.
Yeah, right? I think everyone has that fear. It's fine. He lived. He was fine. But it was like a 30-second overly gratuitously violent, and I was hiding my eyes. I was so sleep deprived yesterday, I almost blacked out.
How do you survive?
My legs went numb, and
What?
It was like his legs. It was like where his thigh bones would have been. Like that's
Would have been. Uh,
He was fine. He was like it was fun. And it was Will Sasso too. So I felt
Will
really
Sasso
bad.
was on Grey's Anatomy?
Yeah. Will Sasso was on a 2-episode arc.
What? I love Will Sasso.
Right?
I love Mad
He
TV.
was like their facilities manager. It was like this crazy windstorm and all the power went out and he was the facilities manager and everyone just keeps venting at him like, why can't you fix this? And he's like, do you not know how your own hospital works, you dumbasses?
Oh, I love Will Sasso. He's so good. He's so good at vines.
And he got injured.
He had his
Oh my
legs
god,
cut
his
off.
lemon vines were so goddamn good.
He's Stone
His
Cold
legs
Steve
didn't
Austin.
get cut off. They did not get cut off. Like, they stopped the elevator before he actually got, like, cut in half. I was still just, like, horrified. I almost fainted, and I don't usually faint. I was just really tired last night. I was so tired.
I'm not into like horror movies, but I do like this show on YouTube
I'm a big baby.
where it's called Dead Meat, where he watches all the murders and he gives you like a clip of what happens and he makes them really funny so they're not as terrifying. And so he's just like, if you don't like horror movies but you want to watch like people get destroyed, I highly recommend the
I'm
podcast.
Such a big baby. I'm
Dead Meat.
so bad with horror.
Oh, and I don't like being
watching
scared.
People get injured.
I don't want to be titillated. Are you kidding me? But like,
I don't like suspense, and I don't like seeing people get injured.
Final
I'm
Destination.
fine with like crime procedurals where there's just like a dead person on the ground and their corpse is mangled because the person is dead. So like they don't have to feel that pain because they're dead.
You just want to see the before and
don't
after.
like
You don't want
watching-
to see the during. You don't want to see how the sausage is
I want to see
made.
the during. Yeah. So like I don't like watching people get injured unless it's like compilations of like nut shots because those are always funny.
Nut shots and like you see, this is where the 12-year-old boy comes in. The nut shots are always going to be funny.
Exactly. Right? Exactly. Like that's like my level of like being able to enjoy human suffering. Like nut shots are funny.
Anything
Like,
with the testicles,
it hurts,
it's
but
great.
like you didn't die.
Well,
So I have issues with human suffering. We've been doing this for like 2 hours now.
yeah, I was gonna do my little wrap up. So this has been fun.
Good call.
We got into the
been
good
fun.
questions. I don't really ever have like a game plan. I can usually just call it on the fly. And so we got through most of the questions. We had a lot of good conversation. I do want to get more into
there any-
our
Specific questions that were in there that you wanted to ask that didn't get asked?
No.
I can like lightning round.
No, I don't
we're
have
good then.
anything. I just if we I'd like to talk more about the weird 90s a TGIF
Hell
a
yeah.
TGIF podcast. We need a good name for it. But I think that was a pretty good little episode for Brown Machismo Nights.
Yeah, that wasn't
late
bad.
episode.
The longest episode yet, I think.
Yeah, this is one of the longer ones. One final question from my good friend Varosh, because he donated. He's a friend of the podcast. Second favorite reptile.
Second favorite.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with a gecko.
Solid.
Yeah. Is showed the little Mexican salamander that I can't pronounce the name of. AXOTL. I can't pronounce it, but those are super cute. That's definitely number one. So I'm gonna.
Oh,
say
the little
geckos are number two.
Pokemon looking one.
Yeah, they're so
Exitils or
cute.
whatever. Yeah, they're pretty great.
Yeah,
Well,
they're adorable.
Tori,
But
I want to.
geckos also pretty cute.
They're pretty great. And they were a good sponsor for Geico. I will say that.
True.
But I want to
Thank you
thank
for
our
having me, Brown. This has been lovely.
Axolotl.
Oh, because it's Mayan and the X gets pronounced as a ch sound.
Meh.
That's my problem. Like, I'm trying to think of like the actual traditional like Mayan pronunciation, and that's where it starts getting weird.
Happens to the best of us. But Tori, do you have anything you want to plug before we let you go?
No, I'm pretty lame. If anyone's got any sweet museum jobs, hire me.
Yeah. You be getting a great nerdy
about it.
person. But
Yeah.
this has been a lot of fun. I'm going to call it a night. So Roche, do you have anybody in line you want to be rated, or can I just call it a night? give him a couple seconds to answer that. But let's see if he says anything. If not, I'm gonna queue up.
No one that I
music.
follow is.
Yeah, everyone I have is a big.
Streaming.
Everyone I have has already got like 4,000 people, so it's.
Yeah, or they're asleep.
Yeah. But okay, I'm gonna put the raid on, and I'm gonna sign us out. I'm queuing up the going away music. So thank you once again for joining the Machismo Show nights.